Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to another reading vlog. I thought I would film a little introduction to this video because I feel like I just started the vlog on a random day. So I thought I would give you a little bit more context for this video. This is a reading vlog on Saturday, Requiem by Nicci French. This is part of the weekday series which I was kindly gifted by my godmother a few birthdays ago, and I made a little tradition for myself to read one Nicci French book as my pre-Christmas read every year. So this is what I did this year, and I thought I would take you along. Biggest news of the video, of course, is that we got a dog. We got her 3 or 4 weeks ago now, I'm not sure. And I would show her now, but she's sleeping and I don't want to disturb her. But you will see her throughout the video. Okay, editing Anna here. Guess who woke up? Formal introduction. Her name is Remy, named after the rat from Ratatouille. And yeah, she's a little rescue from Montenegro, and yeah, she used to live on the street and now she lives with 2 millennials who have a full income and a flat, and she sleeps in a bed. So good for her, I would say. Yeah, but you will see her throughout this video, and then of course throughout every video that will follow from here on. And yes, otherwise I just filmed some snippets during my, I don't know, during the Christmas season, the pre-Christmas season. I have to say this year my holiday spirit was close to non-existing. I still did some nice things. I met up with some friends, and of course the dog really cheered me up as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Hello. It's time to choose a new book to read. I just finished Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. I read this as a buddy read, and we just had our wrap-up session a few days ago. And yes, now it's time to choose a new book, because I'm not reading anything else. I was reading Daddy by Emma Klein, which is a short story collection, but I'm not enjoying it at all. So I think I will just stop reading those short stories and then eventually take the book back to the library. Yes, and I'm also still listening to an audiobook called Voices of Chernobyl, which is all about the nuclear disaster that happened in Chernobyl in the 80s? Yeah. But also I'm kind of taking a break from that because I feel like it's messing with my head and my mood too much. But I will finish it eventually because it's a very good collection of different first-hand experiences that are being shared in this book by people who were involved in the disaster in one form or the other. I'll probably do a wrap-up at some point, and then I'll talk about it a little bit more, but definitely highly recommend, but just make sure that you're in the right headspace, I would say. Anyway, it's time to choose a new book. I decided to pick a book that I already own, and also I chose to continue my little tradition of reading a Nicci French crime novel from the Weekday series, because somehow I always read a Nicci French weekday crime Frida Klein book before I start my Christmas read. So it's now the beginning of December, so I feel like once again it's time to read a Frida Klein written by a Nicci French novel. I'm not quite sure on which day I am, so we have to figure it out together. I feel like I either read Friday last year or I read Thursday, but I feel like I already read Friday. I will check whether I'm right about Friday or Saturday, and then I will check in with you once I start reading, because now I actually have to leave soon because I'm meeting a friend for a walk. It's Sunday, happy Sunday. I have a day off, which is nice. And yeah, I'm looking forward to starting a new book. See you later. I'm just walking the dog. First big walk of the day. I started reading my book this morning. I actually figured out that I'm supposed to read Saturday. I read Friday last year, but when I read Friday's synopsis, I could hardly remember anything. But then I remembered that I actually didn't enjoy it that much. So, makes sense. I probably forgot about it because I didn't like it. Well, not didn't like it, but I thought it wasn't as good as the other ones in the series so far. Anyway, I started reading this morning. And so far, I really like it. It's nice to just get back into the world and reconnect with the characters, and everything already feels quite cozy and dark at the same time. And there seems to be a plot line surrounding a facility for people who are prisoners, but at the same time patients. So it's like what do you call it? Like a criminal? No, I don't know. I have to look it up. What do you call it? Well, a prison for people who are struggling with mental health issues. Anyway, I just met some dogs, so I had to stop recording. Yes, I'm meeting a friend for coffee on Zoom after the walk. Then I have a work dinner tonight, but I will definitely continue reading today. Okay, the dog is going crazy. See you later. realized that I haven't talked that much yet in this video. I was rather busy and I remembered to film little snippets here and there, but I realized I haven't given an update on the book and my reading progress. So I'm sitting down now and taking some time. I would say I'm halfway through by now, and I have really immersed myself into the story. It's very gripping and I'm pleasantly surprised because I remembered, I think I said this before, but I remembered that I didn't really like the Friday one. So I'm really happy that the Saturday one fulfilled my expectation. I'm especially enjoying the aspect of mental health and mental health facilities and crime that involves mental health aspects, or rather mental disease or mental illness. Since the main character Frida is a psychologist, I feel like the theme of mental illness and a crime connected to mental illness, as far as I know at this point, just really works well, I would say. Whenever I read a crime novel or a thriller, I'm not someone who has to, look at all the evidence and look at all the hints and sort of solve the crime or the riddle myself. I rather just read along and see what happens. But I have to say at this point, I'm eager to find out what actually happened in the story. So maybe to fill you in, there has been this crime in which a teenager supposedly murdered her whole family, and the way this case was investigated back in the day is being looked at, and Frida is the main character, as I've said before, and Frida is sort of assisting this investigation group, I would say. I'm not sure exactly what their job is, to see whether or not the crime was investigated properly by the police. Frida has been visiting and talking to the woman who supposedly murdered her family back in the day, and is trying to find out whether this person was incarcerated on false evidence, on a faulty, is that a word? On an improper investigation by the police. And yes, so far I'm really enjoying it. I talked to my friend Chelsea and I told her that I would rather read this instead of watching Netflix or YouTube, and I think that's always a very good sign. So at this point would highly recommend not only the series but also this particular book in the series. Welcome to the wrap-up. Welcome to Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate. I finished the book 2 days ago, I think, and what an enjoyable read. I'm so happy that I picked this up as my pre-Christmas read, and continuing my little tradition. I enjoyed reading it so much. It really sucked me in, and as I've said before, I wanted to read and read and read, and I chose this over YouTube and Netflix many a night. Things I enjoyed about this novel were, first of all, of course, this is what, the sixth installment in the series, so it was nice to, get back into it, revisit the world in which this takes place, revisit the characters, spend some time with Frida, the main character, who I love so much, and also her friends. And yeah, what I also always enjoy about these books is that they take place in London, and usually in a specific area of London, and there's always a little map in the beginning of the book, which gives you a general idea in which area the story takes place. But also Frida, the main character, is very fond of walking at night by herself. Can't relate, to be honest. And then you can always kind of trace her walks on this little map. Yeah, and it reminds me of London, and then you read about it, and you know, it's just nice. What else? I don't know if I talked about this before, but what I really like about the series is that it's not just, you know, there's a crime that takes place and then it's being solved, but Nicci French, or the two people that are Nicci French, really focus on like psychological aspects of crime, of murder, of victims, of perpetrators, and so forth. And I really enjoy that aspect about this series. Also, Frida is a character that I somehow relate to, or I don't know, I think it's quite different from other popular crime novels or thrillers where you often have this kind of genius detective who is dealing with depression and who lost his family, and he's probably drinking, and he's also very sarcastic. And I know this is a cliche, but and I know there are lots of other, you know, crime novels out there, but I don't know, I feel like Frida is a great character to base these stories around. And yeah, as I've said, I relate to her, and I feel over the books you really could get to know her, connect with her, and become a part of her life somehow. And I really enjoy this about the series. I especially liked this one because there were some interesting topics and themes the story was addressing. So there was this aspect of the police sorry, I'm a little bit sick, about the police and how far investigations are being done in a proper way. So there's a bit of this topic of, how do you call it, being critical of the police and the way they work, which I quite enjoyed. Then there's also a critique, I would say, on the system of prisons for mentally ill people, or hospitals for the criminally insane, how they are being treated, how the staff treats them, also how the staff deals with conflicts between the patients, and how far are they safe, and how far are patients treated with dignity, or you know, there's also a lot of abuse in this story, in the mental hospital. So I think that's also a great aspect to talk about, and how far do these institutions actually turn people mad rather than helping them get better. I also feel like this particular one also looked at Frida from a different point of view, maybe not just as the heroine that you know, identify yourself with, or the heroine you are rooting for, but you know, also maybe what are her character traits that maybe make her a bit problematic, and get her into certain situations that maybe she shouldn't be in. Overall, I highly recommend the series. I cannot stress this enough. It's such a good read and such a fun experience if you're into crime or thrillers that have a little bit more substance, I would say. Highly recommend Nicci French, the Weekday series. These are very fast reads, they keep you entertained, and I would say for people who are maybe a little bit scared of thrillers or crime, you can totally read these. They are not too gory, they are not, you know, there's no body horror or anything in this. You should be fine, is what I'm saying. So yeah, if you pick this up, let me know. Have you read these already? Also let me know, what did you think about them? Which one maybe is your favorite out of all the weekdays? I have 2 left, so I have Sunday left, and I think then there's a kind of wrap-up novel at the end of the series. I was tempted to pick up Sunday after I finished this, because I felt like I was so back in again, but I already had books picked as my Christmas reads, so I wanted to read my Christmas reads first, and then maybe next year as my pre-Christmas read I will again pick up a Nicci French book. Alright, that's it. That's the vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a nice Christmas. I hope you get to relax and eat good food and read a nice book, watch some great stuff. We're currently watching season 5 of The Crown. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, you can subscribe to my channel. I think my next video is going to be my favorite books of 2022, so keep an eye out for that, and otherwise I will see you soon. Bye!